Welcome to the Lady the F Up podcast, the ultimate space for women navigating health, wellness, and balanced living. Each episode explores everything from practical weight loss strategies and empowering exercise tips to mental health, self-care, and thriving in your everyday life. Whether you're looking to build healthier habits, stay motivated on your fitness journey, or carve out time for yourself in a busy world, this podcast inspires and guides you every step. Join us each week as we chat with experts, share relatable stories, and offer actionable advice to help you feel your best inside and out. Let's dive into today's episode and start embracing your healthiest, happiest self. So, welcome back to the podcast, episode 18, where I'm going to be bringing you the most inspiring story and expert advice and a little motivation to help you crush your goals. Today, we have an extra special guest joining us, a true powerhouse in the fitness world. They're not just a fitness coach, they're a game changer who's helped countless people transform their lives physically and mentally. And if that's not impressive enough, they recently snagged the Amber Camera Award at our recent company's gala, an incredible recognition of her hard work, passion, and dedication to helping others thrive. So please join me in welcoming Coach Magda. We will dive into her journey, hear what drives her, and even snag a few of her award-winning tips for success. Magda, welcome to the show. How are you feeling after that big win?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute honor to be here on the podcast. I feel great. I mean, I feel very honored to have the first Amber Camera Award and hopefully many more to come. But I feel like definitely like I don't even know how to feel, to be honest. I just am lost for words as I was during my speech. I didn't really know like what to say because I didn't know if I was going to get it. But yeah, I was overjoyed, happy, and I was definitely um, you know, just in shock as well. So yeah.
I actually don't think too many people were shocked, to be perfectly honest. I think the thing is we have an amazing team.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I was like, oh my gosh, me?
Yeah, everybody does really, really well, but you take Vlad out as the top trainer. You then pick Josh out of the boat as the coach of the year. So that we're all kind of looking, going, okay, we're all really great, but it is no shock that Magda won this award. So would you say that this has been your proudest moment so far?
Yes, it's tied definitely with Coach of the Year last year. I was really happy about that award as well, and just I definitely feel accomplished, but I don't feel like satisfied. You know what I mean? Like I still have so much to learn, and I just want to like keep going, keep going, keep going, and just really seeing like what else we can do as a team, what I can do myself like as a coach, like how many like more lives I can empower, and just yeah. So. I feel good, but it's definitely like my biggest accomplishment ever. I would say like that graduating university coach of the year, I think is my
Well,
best
I,
accomplishment.
I think that those are all really, really big accomplishments. I mean, for you're in your mid 20s. I mean, think about it. It's not like you've been on this planet for 40 years and you're just talking about three things. You're talking about three major things and two major things since you graduated from university. So, um, I would say that that probably is one of your proudest moments and it should be, you know.
Yeah.
But if you could rewrite a moment in your life, what would it be?
Hmm. Um, I
Like
mean, I'm
in
very
your fitness journey, in choosing what you did after school, like is there anything that you look back and go, now that I know this, maybe I would have done that.
I feel like I'm just really grateful for my entire journey because obviously it sounds cliche, but it's brought me to where I am now. And like sure, I could have not started with my initial coach, but if I didn't start with my initial coach, then it probably wouldn't led me to Amber in a way because, and so I think everything has a purpose and has a reason for it, but I think that if I had to rewrite something, honestly, I wouldn't change anything, Deborah, if I'm being honest.
That's wonderful. That's really, really good.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, like, sure, like if I knew more about maybe nutrition or macros, maybe my diet would have been better earlier on. Maybe, like I wouldn't, you know, been so overweight. But then, like, again, if I wasn't overweight, then I wouldn't have that maybe drive or motivation to want to lose fat, compete for the very first time, and, go through this entire journey, right? So, yeah, I
Oh, that
don't think
all
I would.
makes really good sense.
Yeah.
Um, so we know that I could ask you who's the most influential person in your life, but I think everybody knows the answer to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely Amber. So,
Yeah. Ammer. I mean, he really has been a very influential person in your life. And I know that you also glean a lot of information from the other coaches and Lexi and Rima.
who? Miss Deborah.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I hope so.
Sorry.
I always try to provide some type of value, like you don't
So
get to
much.
my age and think, okay, I suck at social media. Tech is not my strong suit. Um, yeah. So if I can impart things that I feel confident on and that actually has some help, then that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, thank you.
But what's just I just what's a mistake that you've made that you're actually grateful for making?
A mistake that I'm grateful for making
Yeah.
was yeah, doing my first bodybuilding or like bikini competition and failing miserably. Like getting too lean and like not training properly for it. Like that was like the best thing that could have ever happened to me, to be honest, because then I wouldn't have met my friend at the bodybuilding show and like I wouldn't have met Amber and then I wouldn't, started training with Amber and like I said, so I think that's my best mistake ever was not doing well at all at my first bikini competition, to be honest.
And what show was that? Was that the Barry show?
Yeah, that was the Barry show.
I remember I was at that show seeing you, and I remember Amber thinking that you had a nice physique though. And I remember him saying like look at that girl, the little one, because you were very lean, but you still, I mean, you don't have the physique that you have now that you and Amber have worked so hard to build. But um, when you say like it was a mistake, I just want everybody who's listening to know I saw her in her sparkly bikini, and I think that she still looked really, really, really great. Okay, wasn't enough to win the whole show, but whatever. You still looked really good.
Thank you. Yeah.
What do you think mo people misunderstand about you?
Um, I think one thing, I think this is just like very like stereotypical of like younger coaches, and we do have like relatively young coaches and that we don't know how to transform your life. You know what I mean? And
Hmm,
we don't know how to work with women in their 40s who have kids, like because I don't have kids, right?
right.
I have kids right now. And so with that, like, yes, I might not completely understand your life, but I can still help you get in shape, attain a phenomenal body composition, change your life. So I do believe that's one thing that people misunderstand about like me and some of the younger coaches is that, people maybe get a little bit apprehensive when they first start working with us. And, they don't think it's a great fit because we're not like the same age or we can't relate, you know what I mean? And sometimes, like maybe that's the case, right? Maybe
Right.
you need somebody who is a little bit more relatable to them, and that's fine, right? Like I've had that happen before with me and a few clients where they went to you, Deborah, or they went to Janet, and they're just better off because they can relate, you know what I mean? And I don't take that like personally at all. I did in the past a little bit, but like now
Kind of hard not to because I have as well. It's kind of hard
yeah,
not to when I don't think people realize that being a coach, you put your heart and soul into every
yeah.
frick check-in. Like
Mm,
you're not just using your knowledge, but you're also trying to balance compassion, empathy, guidance, firmness, accountability, and then you cannot control how the other person's hearing it or is going to take it.
yeah,
So I think it's fair to say that you can take it personally because our work is so personal.
yeah, yeah.
But so you bring a really good point because there's not a lot of 26-year-olds out there that can afford to have a coach all the time. I mean, you do have young people, but
Yeah.
I know that you work with an extraordinarily large amount of women that have children, that have had children, that are at different stages of their life. So explain your process when say somebody like myself or Janet could say, totally
Mhm.
understand about the kids, or we understand that, postpartum this or that. What is it, what skills or what have you done to hone in to really help these women?
Mhm.
Because you have. Like, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So I really like communicating. I think frequent communication, like is so important in any relationship. And that's one of my pet peeves is when women don't communicate with me about, what's going on in their life, or they don't tell me that, maybe they're a single mom and they have a lot going on or whatnot. But one thing like that Amber has taught us is always start the client off like where they are at right now, right? And I
Mhm.
think that is so important because for multiple reasons, but one being that you don't want to kind of like push their tolerance too soon, right? Because then they're going to get very discouraged and they're gonna want to quit, right? But you don't want to also be like too easy on them, right? So like let's say a client filled out their consultation form and they're used to walking and doing resistance training twice per week. I'm going to set their program for two resistance training sessions and maybe give them a step goal, right? As well as our meal plan, and then slowly start to teach them I'm sorry, like macro tracking and not so much, maybe a strict meal plan just yet, right? And sort of like give them maybe more options because I know maybe they want to have dinner with their family and it looks different each night, you know? So with that, we build off of that baseline, right? And then each week, we of course check in, as you know, but throughout the week, there are like frequent messages and phone calls. And from there, like if something comes up, if like an emergency comes up, we can always like shift or pivot, right? And
Right,
as a result of that, like the client learns to overcome these challenges that life throws at them, and as a result, they become so much more empowered and motivated because they overcame that obstacle and they're so much better off without, with that guidance versus without it, right? And as
right,
a result, they're their own motivation because they see the results in the mirror and they become super proud of what they have built, right? But it also depends on like where they are at in their life, right? Maybe their kids are older and they can like afford, quote unquote, to, work out 4 to 5 days per week, but maybe they're a single mom and they can't do that right now, right? But in the future, maybe they'll build up their time management skills so that they can perhaps wake up a little bit earlier or go to sleep a little bit later after their kids go to sleep and have their workout, right? So it's a difficult question to answer, but I think that we just have to build upon what they already, where they're at right now. I don't even, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, like my original question was, what do you think people misunderstand about you? And then you were saying about being young, and I asked you, so then how do you how do you navigate that? So how
Yeah.
do you how do you build rapport with people? Because obviously you're very well versed in the process and you're educated. How are you building rapport? Because you build great rapport, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
people love you, your clients adore you, um,
Right.
your colleagues. So what's what what things do you like to do or do you go to um, working with a wide variety of people? And just to put it into context, when I was a teacher and I would walk into you know, a hall and there would be like, 100 students, I I would always use humor. And I would always, like introduce myself and I would talk to them like I was their long lost friend, but not like too personal, but just like I was very, very personable. And I could see the look on some people's faces were like, is she crazy? And then other people really liked it, but it broke the ice. And that's how I like to build rapport, just being really authentic. So how do you
Right.
to build
Right.
it?
I think just like, I don't know if this is a way to build rapport, but it's like, I guess like sharing some education or some like tips, right? So that somebody can take that, apply it, and then see, okay, it works, or maybe it didn't work. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I guess that would build that rapport so that the client can trust me a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if I gave you some sort of tip to increase the amount of protein per meal, that would help your cravings, right? Instead of having 20 grams of protein per meal, try to have 30, 35. See if your cravings go away. And if they do, well, fantastic, right? I have built rapport because now the client will trust me a little bit more, right? So if
Right.
I can give them the tips and kind of tangible information, well, then I can definitely get you in shape. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's
Especially if,
actionable. Like there's something that they can apply.
exactly. So I think that's how I build rapport with people. And just, of course, just like word of mouth as well. So,
No, good, good. So, I mean, you document your journey on
yeah,
social media about like you were doing a major build last year. You got super strong, and then you
yeah.
went through a really nice cut and looked amazing. And we make a joke like she's like a little machine and she works so hard, but you're not a machine and you're a human. So,
Yeah.
what motivates you to keep going when things do get tough?
Honestly, the gym and like working out is what keeps me sane. I think for a lot of people, they may not see like working out as like, you know, the thing that they like want to do so badly, but like I go to like rest days are really hard for me. Like those are like the worst days. Like sometimes I go like days and weeks and weeks without taking a rest. I'm like, holy crap, I'm tired. What was my last rest day? Oh, oops, it was 2 weeks ago. I should probably take a rest day, you know? So it's like I just like love it. I just love it. I just love the endorphins that I get. I love just like how much I just like pushing myself. I'm just like, okay, so how many pull-ups can I get today? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Last week I did 10. Let's shoot for like 10 and a half today. What if I do, 10 and, some assisted, right? So it's like I just like beating myself, my
No,
previous
that's
self.
good.
Yeah. And I think I just love it so much. So
Well, you being on social media, and you have great social media, by the way. We all love your reels, and you're very, very comfortable doing it, which makes people think, I would think that they really know you. What's a surprising fact about you that most people don't know, that they would learn and be like shocked,
Um,
surprised? Maybe
surprising,
shocked is too dramatic, but surprised.
surprised.
It's
Like
certainly
I'm
not that you're uh a couch potato because you just basically said that you don't like to
No, no, no,
take a day off.
definitely not. Um, I I hate, okay, wait, maybe like people know this about me, but I'm so bad. I'm terrible and I need to improve on public speaking. Like I am very comfortable in front of the camera. I can, talk all I want in front of the camera, but like public speaking is terrifying for me. Like, oh my goodness. Like when I had to, deliver this speech, it was like my worst nightmare. It was not fun, but I'm working on it. I need to work on it some more. So I think that's number one. I don't know, like I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, but I haven't really like done it in years. So I don't consider myself a black belt anymore,
That's good
because
to
I
know.
don't practice it, but like it's there.
No, that's good to know. No, I mean, I think it's good that you're aware. Like my secret thing would be that I love shitty TV. Like
Oh, like
shitty
Kardashians and stuff.
TV. I yeah,
Mm.
like any oops.
It's okay.
Um, I do that. Sorry about that. This is what happens when you're doing your podcast live.
Things happen.
Um, what is kind of funny is that yeah, I because I put so much brain power into my work,
Mhm.
and maybe it's a reflection of my age that my brain does need time to have some downtime. I can't just sit quietly and I can't read a book.
Yeah.
I love crappy TV for, and I can take it for about 30 minutes and then it's like, okay, that's enough. But yeah, like crappy stuff, stupid stuff. But I adore documentaries and learning. So
Yeah. I love
yeah,
doctor.
I love.
Yeah, I do love that.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Sushi.
Yeah, I knew it. I'm with you on that
Give
too.
me raw fish and rice. Like that's all I need. It's like
Is that
so
your favorite?
that's my favorite, honestly.
Have you
Like
ever learned how to make sushi?
honestly, like I make poke bowls at home all the time, but like I don't have the patience to roll it and like, learn how to do that. Like it's just not for me. And then cutting it, it always gets so sticky and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna eat it. But
Yeah,
like
well, I
digest
agree. Why take work away from people, right? Everyone has to make a living.
exactly. But no, I think I like it because number one, the flavor tastes amazing, but it's so, for my body at least, my body really likes carbs and protein, kind of fats. Like it's like okay with fat, but if I have too much fat, especially in one meal, like if I have like a burger and fries, like that doesn't sit too well with me and I feel very heavy. But like after I have like a good amount of sushi, I feel like on top of the world. Like my digestion's really great. Yeah.
Good. That's good. What's your oh, I was going to ask you a question. I asked you about the food. Oh, I know. It's a serious question. What's the most important lesson you've learned this year?
Oh, there is a few.
Okay.
Mm.
Do you feel like
I
sharing?
think, yeah. So I think okay, well, of course, like Amber has taught me this. One of the most important is that my ego can be, of course, like a driving force for me,
Hmm.
but it can also lead to roadblocks. You know what I mean? So it can push me to strive for more, of course. But like if I don't check myself or if Amber doesn't check me, then like it can just like stall progress and I can potentially become like too complacent, right? And
Right.
I don't want to be complacent, right? So it's kind of like recognizing when it's holding me back and I need to become like very self-aware of that, but I also have to just like understand that I don't know everything. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing that I really learned this year.
Yeah, and something to give you credit for that, you do know a lot, and we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes experience and a little more life experience to realize, you know, that I do need to keep a more of an open mind on something, or not be so, maybe pigeonholed into one way of thinking. And I'm not saying that that's what you do, but
Mhm.
I remember being in my 20s, and I got married very young, and I had my first child very young, thinking that I knew everything. I mean, here I am, a homeowner married with a child. Like, I know it all. And I
Yeah.
remember working with people older than me, and double my age, and
Yeah.
actually inside my head thinking, ew, I'm never going to be like that.
Mhm.
And I realize now I knew nothing. And
Yeah.
I didn't have an Ammer checking me. I didn't have anybody pushing me and telling me. So I learned a lot of things the hard way. And you know,
Well, you- you're
it's
amazing, Deborah.
oh well,
So
thank you.
definitely, like,
You know what my trick was, Magda?
yeah, yeah.
I would pick somebody that I really looked up to,
Mhm.
and I would try to emulate everything they did.
How smart.
So
I love that.
when I like a woman with either being a mom or cooking, or the way she dressed, or the way she decorated her house, and it
Mhm.
was always a woman. It was never men. I really would look to women, in business, at the gym,
Mhm.
working, anybody that I had a lot of respect for and that did well. I was like, okay, this is what
Mhm.
they do, then I have to do it. And I was very self-taught that way. But
Yeah.
it's harder. I mean, I think I've said this to you many times, and I'm going to say it again, that by the time you get to even be a third of my age, you're going to be so much further ahead than I was at your age. And I see that you're going to have this great, fulfilling career. So it's it's
I'm so
nice to
thankful.
be in on the beginning of it, because, well, I'm not going to be around forever, but you are. Although Rima says that
That,
I have to still be a coach even when they put me in the retirement home.
Deborah, you're the best.
So
No,
thank you. Um, have you ever received a weird compliment?
a weird compliment. I mean, I've not really weird, but like I've been asked like if I'm like taking steroids. They're like they're like men at the gym. They're like, so I know you train with Amber. What does he have you on? I'm like,
Oh
nothing.
God.
400 grams of carbs, 85 fat, 190 protein. Like
Yeah, I know.
creatine.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing because, like,
Yeah.
that it's just, oh man, I could slap that person.
So
Like,
like I don't
oh,
know if
it's
that's a
got to be that she's
compliment.
on drugs. It can't be that she works her out. Like, I've watched you work out. You
Yeah.
kill yourself, and then when you're with Amber, you're killing yourself as he's killing you. Like, you really do put it all on the line. Lexi does it too when I watch her work out. It's
Yeah, I love her stories. I
it's
see it.
impressive. It's very impressive. So yeah, you're not on any. Yeah, you're on lots of
Food.
surgery.
Right.
Really funny. Um,
Yeah.
so back to this award. What
Hmm.
uh has anything changed since you've won the award? Do you feel any differently? Do you have new goals for this year? Because there's no more awards to win. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to win the 60-day challenge award. You're not going to win. But no,
I
I'm joking.
mean,
You could always re-win those awards. But do you
yeah.
have you made new goals for yourself because of this? Do you have more confidence, or what? I'll shut up.
And no, I mean, I don't feel any different, to be totally honest. I'm just doing my thing, continuously trying to apply everything that Amber has taught us. But of course, like I want to be a really great coach. Like I want to be like the lady the F up, like really great coach, somebody that of course has incredible transformations, incredible testimonials. I want to continue to, of course, develop myself as a person. I want to continue to develop my communication skills, my people skills, sometimes me lacking, of course, public speaking, of course. And just like education wise as well, I want to do the what's it called postpartum um, course that Mal did, and I want to really learn a little bit more for sure. Because, like you said, like we don't know what we don't know, right? But
Exactly.
nothing has explicitly changed. I do feel like the same, but I do feel even more grateful. Like I literally wake up every single day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love my life so much. Okay, let's have another great day. You know what I mean?
That's really nice to hear. That's
Yeah,
really
like a saying that I literally have every day is like, it's a beautiful day to change lives, right? Like,
right.
and just keep, yeah, doing good work. I
Oh,
don't.
good for you. Good for you. So this is my last question. I won't
Mhm.
keep you any longer. I asked Rima this question too. If you were a Disney character, what would you, or who would you be and why?
Okay. I really like, in general, I love Elle. No, not Elle. What's her name? Ariel. Ariel, the mermaid.
Ariel, the mermaid.
I don't know why. Like, I just love her. She like, I don't know. She just like swims in the ocean with her like Sebastian the crab and like I don't have a Sebastian the crab, but like he's like the little like what is it? Like a little companion and then she turns into like a princess and has like Prince Eric, which is super cute.
Yeah. I
So
love
whatever she looks
I
like.
love it. The Little Mermaid. I think that that's great.
Yeah. But it's kind of sad because I love sushi so much. So I'd be like eating my friends.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. I
That's not too
I told
sad.
Rima that I identify as the teapot in Beauty and the Beast. I
Be
don't
our
know.
guest, be our guest.
Yeah, exactly. I said I'm like the teapot. I told my daughters that and they go, "Yes, mom, you're totally the teapot." And I was like,
Aw.
"Okay." Anyway, Magda, thank you so much for jumping on here on a busy Saturday. I know that you were at HQ training clients. Check-ins are crazy on a Saturday, and Saturday is universal date night. So,
Wow.
um, I do appreciate you jumping on. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we?
No, but thank you just so much for having me on and go follow Lady DF up on Instagram, Hammer Fitness HQ on Instagram. Of
Yes.
course, all of the coaches. So much great information everywhere. Hammer the Hammer on Instagram as well. If you want to be inspired and if you want to change your life like I did and Deborah did and all of us coaches did, you better go follow him or else.
Yeah, exactly. You won't be part of the gang. You won't be part of the gang. Okay, well, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast and share it with people that you think would get a kick out of it or get some learning. Until next week, thank you very much for joining. Bye.
Bye.